YouTube, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Tom Ross. It's another beautiful day out here. Hope you guys are enjoying your quarantine. Hope you guys are finding something creative and really positive to keep your day going and keep you active. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made a beat in Logic Pro X. It's one of those ones that's more on the chill side, but it's definitely got a bounce to it. I know y'all gonna think it's fire. In fact, go ahead and just take some time and smash that like button down there, and I'll be right back after this. Peace. Alright guys, welcome back to the desk. Here we go, let's go ahead and jump right in. I did start off with an instrument from Sculpture right over here, and it is the buzzy picking sound. And here's what it sounds like without any edits or any plugins just yet. Alright, so I added a channel EQ. Let's get a feel for that. Okay, and then I also added on some effects from this plugin called Effects Rack, and that's right down here. And I'll show you what this looks like. So basically, all of the plugins are over here. Got all of these different items from the rack, and you can drag in and drop them in this little area to create different sounds and manipulate it even more than just with an EQ. So here's what that sounds like. All right, and lastly was just a low pass, and that is for just basically the intro of the song. And I did it as an automation. So when you tap on A on your keyboard in Logic Pro X, it brings up automation, and you see here I have cut off for AU low pass, and my low pass is just here in the first couple of bars, which you'll hear in just a few minutes later. So tapping on A again closes that down, and now we're on to the next instrument. I did add in some mallets here. Let's hear how this sounds together, or hear how this instrument sounds by itself. I'm going to remove these plugins as well so you can hear it naked. I was feeling that because it gave you that arpeggiated vibe, and it makes the beat move a little bit faster at this slower tempo. So I added a compressor to it. Make a little louder. Bit crusher from Distortion. Phaser. EQ. You see how that really shapes the sound. It kind of brings it together, makes it a little bit more together sounding than just wide open like somebody banging on the mallets. So from there, we've got another instrument here. Oh, and before I leave there, this instrument is like one of the default instruments within Logic Pro X if you look for arpeggiated instruments. So down here, this one is also from Sculpture, and let's go ahead and move this over just a bit. Hear what this sounds like here. Okay, that's just another instrument to add some flavor to the mids and give it a little bit more movement as well. So here's what all three of those sound like together. All right, let's unmute this one. And there's nothing on this instrument but an EQ, as you guys can see. Okay, and so I did pan that one a little bit over to the left because I also added a flute. when you're making beats, you want to make sure that you have, I like to have at least like maybe at least 2 to 4, if not 5 melodic instruments to give you some different options to choose from as far as your arrangement. Because you never want to have everything or just one thing going for the entire song. This kind of makes it boring. So you get a little bit more to work with when you add 2 to 4, maybe 5 instruments. So here goes my flute. I'm going to unsolo the rest of these instruments and move over my cycle section. So flute, I did add some Ram to, and Ram is a newer plugin for reverb by Native Instruments, one that I really, really love, really adds a lot of space and gives the instrument a place to live in, and makes it just, it sounds really, really dope. So here's the pattern for that. Okay, so let's move into drums. And again, I did use the Drum Machine Designer just like always. I love Drum Machine Designer, again, because it gives you the ability to go ahead and make changes and adjustments to the sounds. You can pitch certain instruments, you can adjust the volume, and you can do it right here within Drum Machine Designer and not have to really fool around with the mixing board at all. So in this kit, I've got a kick drum, I've got a clap with some reverb, open hi-hat, percussion, 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 ping sound, and I got another snare. I think those are the only instruments that I'm using here. So this is a kit that I really like to use from sounds that I've just kind of grabbed from Splice and other free drum kits that I've found online. Alright, so here's how the drums sound. Alright, and I do have a hi-hat pattern that I added. The hi-hat pattern comes from the EXS24 sampler. And again, similar to what you want to do with the Drum Machine Designer, if you want to pitch your hi-hats and have them playing at different octaves and different pitches throughout the pattern, you can do it quite easily here within the EXS24 sampler. Go over here to the edit button and basically just drag and drop in to your this area here, and it'll basically map it out on the keyboard that you see down here from C2 all the way up to C1 or C5 or whatever. And so if you don't see that edit button there on your EXS24 sampler right over here, what you want to do is go into Logic Pro X Preferences, and then down to Advanced Tools, and make sure that your Advanced Tools are checked and all of them are turned on, so that you get that option. So here's what my piano roll looks like for the hi-hats. All right, and I'll play the other drums with them as well. Okay, so you see I've got some different pitch levels here. I've also kind of messed with the velocity, so that's like basically the intensity of which the drummer would be hitting the instrument, the hi-hat. So you see here the red is a little bit more intense at 120 velocity right over here than the orange, which is at 109. So it's a slight difference, but it kind of gives you a drag effect, if you will. Adds a little bit more bounce to your beat when you adjust the velocities there. The velocities here, I did make it come in stronger and get lighter, and then stronger and get lighter here as well. And then some of them you see are all at the same velocity. So just some tips for your hi-hats to kind of make them roll a little bit better. Another melodic instrument, I mentioned that we should have about 4 or 5. So here's another one. And I believe it's the strings. The last instrument that we need to show you guys is the 808. Now, I did show you guys the 808 that I use in this beat a couple videos back when I did the video on Ocean's new drum kit. And so this is that same 808. I just made some adjustments to it to make it a little bit fatter, I think. And so here I'll play the drums and the guitar in there with this, so you guys can get a vibe for what this sounds like. Okay, all right, here we go. Alright, so that's killing. I'm really feeling this beat. I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorites that I've done so far. Alright, so with this 808, I again use EXS24 sampler. Same rules apply when you're dragging the sound into the sampler as I showed you guys with the hi-hat. So I added an EQ on there first of all. Let me just bring these off so you can hear what it sounds like naked. Alright. Okay. EQ. Alright, now here's where it gets interesting. I found this new distortion plugin from Waves Audio over, this was like back during Christmas time. They were giving it away for free, something that just dropped, really new. Wanted to put it out on a trial basis, I think. And it looks really dope. This is what it looks like when you pull it up. And you got a lot of cool little buttons in here. And here's what it would add to your sound. I think there's another, I got a compressor on here as well, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so turning that on. Alright, so that sounds a lot more fat, a lot more gritty with that berserk on there. It's really, really dope. Alright, so the last instrument, or last plugin rather, is the compressor. And so I use the FET bass. It's one of my favorite compressors to use. And sometimes I'll even sidechain it to another instrument. So if you go to INST, that stands for instrument, and you can sidekick it to your kick drum. Basically what that means is that your bass will then bow out to the kick drum if they hit on the same beat. And that just kind of like, you know, eliminates the two clashing together. But since my kick pattern is different from my 808 pattern in this particular video, I did not use a side chain. But this definitely adds a little bit more volume and fatness and intensity to your sound. So I'm going to turn it off for a second. See how that thickens? Alright, so now that we've got all of that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and hear everything from the beginning. This is how I made this beat in Logic Pro X. Chill vibes, let's go. Hey, so that's my beat in Logic Pro X. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thoroughly did. I think it's one of the best that I've created so far. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing, my name is Tone Ross. Please consider subscribing. Please go ahead and like the video, as that helps my video get pushed up to the top. And comment down below. Let me know what you think of this beat. Other than that, you know what I like to say. Keep living, because your very best days are yet to come. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Ugh.